Oh, there we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Worlds Collide Final Fantasy VI Randomizer Ultros League Practice Race. We got it's been a minute since we've been broadcasting, but we're back with a new season of Ultros League. I'm here in the booth with Goku Black. How are you doing tonight, Goku?
I'm doing pretty good. We actually got a surprising amount of runners, 9 in total, if I believe.
Yeah, big bet.
And this is Ultros League season 4.
Yep,
And
season 4.
And practice race. So if you don't know what Ultros League is, in the Final Fantasy 6 Sports Collide randomizer, there's a lot of things that are randomized, and chess, espers, the spots, abilities can be mismatched on different characters. Shots are randomized. Enemy scaling is randomized. You actually start with airship, and you can go from the world of balance to the world of ruin, vice versa. So
That's right. And all of those things get randomized around the place, and where you have access to is connected to the characters that you have in your party at that time. Your total party, not just your active party. For example, if you get, as you see on the screen, if you get Edgar, it means you can go to the Figaro throne, do the Figaro Castle engine, explore the ancient castle. Terra gets you access to the top of Zozo. You can go fight whatever bosses at the Welk check, things like that. So in general, the players are going to be wanting to find characters and espers, since those are the things that are tied to progression in this particular randomizer. They've got to get 6 characters and 9 espers before they can go and step on those switches and fight Kefka.
yeah, and also we are playing Ultros League tonight. So if you don't know what Ultros League is, specifically what Ultros League is it's a league that goes on, and you play every single week. You play in a specific group. People like newer players playing the tonic division, and a potion, higher players, elixir higher players, and then mega elixir is the highest. So that's standard stuff there. Every single week, one of the divisions plays a seed, and then on the next week, we play another seed.
Yep, and it's async, which is nice. So if you got a weird schedule, like I work swing shift, you can jump in, still be a part of a fun little community race. Some of those times you saw up there, the way that it works is every single week your time is recorded and it's added up at the end of the full season. Your lowest 2 are dropped, and points are allocated based on how well you did throughout the season, excuse me. And if you did really good, you get to go move up. If you didn't do really good, you're gonna have to move down, unfortunately. But right now, this is just a pickup practice race, so this is just for funsies as everybody's getting started.
Setzer, Shadow, and Saturn. Saturn with jump.
That's not a bad start.
It's not a bad start at all.
So in general, the first 5 to however many minutes of this game tends to be going around looking for loot. People that are playing this have a pretty good idea of which locations have the highest density of chests versus how much you have to walk. Narsh, as you can see, 3 of our 4 runners went to Narsh right out of the gate. There's a decent number of chests there, some shops. Shops are also randomized, so you never know what kind of cool stuff you're going to find. Nothing in that one, unfortunately. While Nobody War is headed over to another popular open starter spot with a Mega Elixir in it. Very nice. The Returner hideout. There is a check for Terra attached to this location. You can jump on the Leet River and go through that. It's not a very popular check. It tends to take a little little while.
Okay, just gonna say, you that check. Do not do it.
It's there are very specific instances where it's not a bad idea, but yeah, not in this case. There's plenty of better spots to go. And wow, yeah, Schwantz, who by the way is doing tracking and restreaming. Thank you very much to the Schwantz27 for keeping the dials turned in the right spot. Pointed out that nobody wore found Terato already. I completely missed that. Good thing he's a tracker.
Go over in the shadow check. But if you just start like, okay, you have Sutter, you have Shadow, you have Sabin. Where's your start?
I mean, probably this is a pretty standard one. I spend 5-10 minutes going around to some of the towns. South Figaro, you see nobody wore there right now. This is a good one. There's a lot of chests. You can go down to the basement, get a bunch of stuff. So I'd collect up however many. Lock at Colingen. That's a good one over on Javinator's screen. But I try to get a decent offense together, and then grab a couple of free checks until I get 1 or 2 espers that hopefully have some decent spells or a good stat buff attached to them.
I'm actually not opposed to starting off in Colingen in the shadow check and just completely skipping Nurse in general.
Yeah, that's fair. I usually skip Narsh if I've got Terra or Mog in my starting party, just because then I want to, turn Narsh into a big kind of series of linked checks with the way that Mog kind of links well into Kefka at Narsh, which links pretty well into the Moogle defense scene. But otherwise, yeah, I usually go through Narsh just because every now and then there's something really incredible in one of those shops, and you don't want to, you want to know that right away. You want to know whether or not you have to save up your money, or if you can drop, 20 grand on some earrings early on.
Yeah, that's a fair argument as well. We are seeing a little bit of divergence here, though, at least.
Yeah, they're wandering around a little bit. I think Nobody War picked up some fixed dice in that weird prison that the rich guy in South Figaro has in his basement for some reason. Which, that's a good... Fixed dice have been kind of iffy lately. However, it is a pretty good way to have non-elemental defense-piercing damage early on. Arguably for late game, but early and mid game is good stuff.
Especially if you are fighting a certain MM, if you know what I mean.
Yes, if you run into the Grand Master of all magic, that's a good time to have fixed dice, super balls, shurikens, anything that can pierce defense.
Yep. Let's see.
Yeah.
What do you think their first actual boss check will be?
Tough to check, or tough to say, because maybe Stetzer's check over in Daryl's tomb. I would think I'd probably be doing a lot of the grind fight checks myself, especially with I think there was I forget where Locke was. I think Colligan, that's what it was. I even said that. But even getting that 4th character is really important early on. You want to have that full team right out of the gate so that you have a better idea of how many tools you have to work with.
Since we're over in Zen on Nobody War's side, I just want to say that I have had a Zen thief that has been multiple, rather, that have been double digits.
Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, the range I think is just 1 to 65,000. Whatever the maximum number is for Super Nintendo values. So you can get pretty low. I don't think I've ever seen one below 3 digits, but that's still, that's an incredible buy no matter what.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I think it was like 78 or something like that.
And it is kind of nice. I like how it tells you. You know, there's a bunch. It's kind of there's a delicate balance to which checks are better than others based around whether or not you can see what you're going to get ahead of time, or at the very least get an idea of what you're going to get ahead of time. A really fun example is Terra's check in World of Ruin Mobliz, where you go and talk to a particular kid in the little basement hidey hole, and she will say, "Oh, you're not here to take, you know, whatever away from us, are you?" And it'll let you know, like, "Oh, Aura Lance or Strago or Fenrir or what have you."
Yeah,
So
that's
they're
definitely it. That's definitely a good thing. So here we're seeing a fight outside, right in the South Figaro basement.
oh yeah, chicken lips they always make me nervous because they know Quake in the main game. I don't think looks like Retrophile has not picked up any characters or espers, so scaling is not going to be too terribly tough. How about you give a quick primer to the good folks at home how the level scaling works in this randomizer?
So this specific seed, so like instead of like, okay, this boss has its stats of this spot, it's based on how many characters, espers, and dragons you've obtained / fought in the specific flag set. So it adds up, okay, this is how many characters, this is how many espers, this is how many dragons, adds them all up, then there's your scaling.
Yep, and there's usually a multiplier attached to it. I want to say Ultros League is 2.5. It might just be 2. Somebody who's a lot better at keeping track of this stuff can correct me in the chat. But yes, thank you, Schwantz. It's ×2. So right now, Retrophile is dealing with level 6 critters, whereas Falcon Hit, for example, with 4 characters and 1 Esper, is dealing with level 10 critters. And he seems to be going into the Phoenix Cave. That's an interesting one right out of the gate. It's a long walk, but it is a free check. No boss at the end of it.
Except for the dragon.
Well, that's true. But considering he's going in with 2 solo characters, I have a funny feeling he's not going to fight that dragon.
I mean, there is a dragon, though.
There is a dragon. You could run into it by accident. Javinator going through World of Ruin Narsh, picking up Locke's checks, going and checking the Cursed Shield, which in this particular flag set for Ultros League, I want to say it's between 1 and 16 battles that it takes to get that to turn into a Paladin shield.
3 to 15.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And it was 12.
Okay. I don't like to see that second digit on the Curse Shield personally, but I don't know. There's a lot of grind fight checks that these guys got.
I mean, I personally despise that double digits. Like, ugh.
It's not great.
Checking the monster in the box. Ugh.
Yeah, finding pugs. Yeah,
and we're out of here.
Yeah, not interested in getting that Minerva.
Yeah. I don't think we have a lot of damage yet either.
Someone in the chat asking about the alternate route to try to edge out an advantage. That's not a bad read. That's usually the reason that somebody would go to a strange or non-optimal check early on, is to see, like, hey, maybe there's something really good at the end of this, and I can, get a head up. And yes, that is Retrophile TV going after the sweet, delicious experience egg. Unfortunately, taking an instant death attack for his troubles.
I drop for an experience egg.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm canceling plans. I'm closing out all of my accounts. Like, I'm getting that experience egg. Maybe coming back for it, however, because right now, God, for eye drops even. Oh man.
Yeah, I know, right?
$50.
Yeah, eye drops.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nobody wore running afoul of a Tyrannosaur that knows Quasar.
that's never a fun thing.
No.
That's
They
they're like, we're out of here. Oh, that's a rip.
Oof, yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's a rip. That is.
Trying to craft a Jurassic Park joke, but I didn't. Javinator. Yeah, Javinator going after a dragon right out of the gate as Falcon Hit finds Realm with capture. Not the best thing you want to find Realm with, but at least she's got good stats.
I mean, yeah, we did find that fixed dice. We do know Sipser can do that.
And Toronto has some good spells attached to it too, so once Realm gets a few magic points in her, she'll be probably sticking around to the end of the game.
Yeah, but the thing is, did we just be reset?
Yeah, I think was that the Earth Dragon, I believe?
Yeah. No, it's vanilla, by the way.
Dirt Dragon, excuse me. I don't know how I misspoke so badly.
Dirt Durgan.
The Dirt Durgan. Yeah, sadly, Retrophile was not able to get that egg. Can't beat the Oliver. It's a rough one. Usually when you run into that, it's a monster in a box, and usually when you run into it, you just drop a Revivify or a Phoenix Down on it, and call it a day. But unfortunately, in the Coliseum, that's just not going to work out.
Nobody were going after the fights again.
Yeah, wanting to get. I mean, these are good grind fights too. Like if Nobody War can make it through these flowers, that's worth a pretty decent amount of experience at this point. Javinator successfully taking out the Dirt Dragon. Second chance.
No, wasn't going to try 3.
Gonna get a Magus Rod for his trouble and a high tier item, an Illumina. Very nice find. Another really strong piece of a puzzle. In a really kind of dangerous early game tactic there from both Javinator and Falcon Hit. Gambits are paying off.
Yeah, we're not going to be fighting that Telstar.
No, that's fine. That not interested.
No experience, and it gives only a green beret. It is not worth it.
PM Stalkers may be worth it. They give a decent amount of experience even at low levels, and you can just get rid of them. They're stiff breeze. You look at them the wrong way and they'll die.
Sauce cannons.
Retrophile deciding to go into Daryl's Tomb. I really like this check. It's got a pretty decent chest density, and it's reasonably quick run. Hey, there's a Thunder Shield in there. That's as good of a reason as any to come down here.
Yeah. Like to see it. We are going to be doing 12-3-0 8 the balance.
Ooh, time to do math. Hey, the math is good.
I mean, technically, there is hardly any reason for math to be bad.
Well, there's one. Multiples of 5 are never great.
I mean, when you're hitting multiples of whatever that could harm you, I mean, that's always a bad thing, but...
Huge divergence. You were talking about this earlier. All 4 runners are... I don't know how much... I mean, there was a little bit of overlap with the free checks. I think everybody but Nobody War has a lock at this point. But once they started going to the checks that actually involve bosses, there's been a lot of divergence here. Nobody War jumping off a cliff, Javinator making his way through Narsh, Falcon Hit going through the house.
Oh, Terra!
That's a good one. So yeah, I mentioned Terra earlier. Piranha, that's no fun. Not a hard boss, but a weirdly time-consuming one.
It's not hard, but...
It's, I believe, it's on a timer for how long you have to fight just the regular schmegular fish.
I think it's like 60 seconds.
I want to say it's randomized in this. It's like between 8 and 60 seconds or something like that. It's another one of those like multiple scenarios where it's like a specific number range because Super Nintendo programming.
5 to 55.
Nobody wore picking up a phoenix at the bottom of the falls. Not too bad. 5 to 55. Hey.
Right, so fast to hit with the air anchor?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Because air anchors, it does the instant death thing, and I don't think it has anything goofy with it in terms of who can or cannot be. Like, there are some instant death things that ignore instant death protection, but I think most of those are enemy-based.
Okay.
Some halfway decent rolls. Javinator, unfortunately, not taking or not able to take down that second dragon on the Narsh cliffs there. As Retrofile picks up a Lore Terra, not too shabby. Yeah, nobody wore going up Mount Colts.
Get my girl.
Terra's great.
Using her.
Yeah, nobody wore going up Mount Colts. Another maybe mid-tier check. It's not a super popular one, but clearing out a lot of Sabin stuff all at once. Which is a strategy. Like,
that is a choice.
Oh.
Atma weapon or fixed dice?
Oh, I'm taking Atma weapon every time, but also they've got a fixed dice already, so.
That's a choice. That is a choice.
Yeah, pretty rough. I think, God. So right now, Javinator is the only one that found that Illumina. So everybody else would definitely want the really good. Everybody probably want having a really good sword in there, but Javinator has that Illumina, which means lock is set. If they find Terra, then that confuses the decision a little bit. But Atma weapon is little bit less important if you've already got an Illumina.
I mean, Sabin's really not doing a whole lot, so...
That's true.
Especially if we, like...
Ooh. Sorry, Shote with Merton on Nobody Wars screen. Very nice. Bolt 3 on that Phoenix, too. Lots of good spells early on. Not a lot of stats, but a lot of good spells.
Yeah, we're kind of looking for stats right now, but okay. Falcon Hit's gonna see the horrible amount of fights on that curse shield.
Yep, saw that second digit. Yeah. Wham.
Yep.
Retrofile, make... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, not gonna use that cursed shield. Yeah, not.
Yeah. Yeah, Retrofile making their way through the sealed cave, which it's a free check. There's no boss at the end of it. It's a bit of a long walk, but there are a ton of chests. Not even just including the huge armory that you can run through at the beginning. There's a bunch along the way too. Very popular early game check.
Looks like nobody was looking around for like maybe some offense or defense or something like that.
Yeah, checking the shops.
Not feeling confident with what they've done so far.
I know that feeling, especially once you hit minute 20 and it doesn't feel like your team is really coming together just yet. You want to wander around and try to find that last little special something to get that steamroll running.
Caffeinator going up to the floating continent.
Oh wow.
So we will see what is up there.
Floating continent, not too bad of a check if you've got some decent screen clearing offense. There's a lot of random battles attached to it, both at the start and at the end.
Oh, Magic Master up in the skies.
Yeah, that's no good.
That's yeah, we might not be doing this fight.
Retrophile finding Ifrit at the end of the sealed cave. Good workhorse Esper there.
I don't think we're doing this fight. Something inside me is telling me that we're not.
Taking a crack at it. Boy, that's that's a lot of damage.
Yep, we're not.
Yeah, there's the reset. That's a shame.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Chat asking about skill gaps. So we do have 2 Mega Elixirs members, a tonic and a potion player right now, and all you have to do is check the Ultros League standings to see the gap. Like it's kind of impressively arranged in for this season. Like Mega Elixir has been crushing it. Like they're scary powerful up there, but all of the other divisions have been pretty close to, definitely very close to each other, and not super far off from the adjacent division. So barring any kind of like huge screw up or running into a big wall that somehow, for example, like maybe Javinator gets through a wall that a bunch of other people are having trouble with because of the Illumina, or if say Retrophile had gotten his hands on an egg, that would have definitely changed the field quite a bit.
We did see eye drops were exchangeable.
Eye drops.
For it. Eye drops.
Arguably antidotes even will get rid of that awful screen effect for when you're poisoned, but eye drops are just like, I mean, they're important in this one because a lot of the glitches got fixed for the Worlds Collide randomizer. If you're not familiar with the vanilla game, there's a bunch of little, let's say, creative or unique gameplay bits that many of which got fixed for the Worlds Collide randomizer. One of which is the evade bug, the evasion stat not working. It does now, which means that accuracy is also finally in play.
Like eye drops though.
Oh yeah.
Eye drops in exchange for an experience egg.
Oh yeah, that's easy. I mean, getting through the enemy is the hard part.
Yeah, but you don't have much choice making in that one.
Javinator running into some not one, like Yeti's a bit of a gamble, but Tunnel Armor is not going to be clearing through this and touching down on the continent pretty soon to find out what that first reward is going to be.
Now, keep in mind, we have not seen any of the statue bosses yet.
No, not yet. They have been around. Ooh, Yeti. Oh, beat up the Yeti, knocked him off the airship, and he landed on this continent. We're going to just pull him up and apologize, and it's going to make good.
And we're going to say, hey, you can run on the airship. We're not.
So, Falcon hit probably, I would say, I mean, in the lead numerically right now for sure, with 5 characters, 3 Espers, but also with a pretty decent power gap. Like that realm has been putting in work, and yeah, chat mentioning also Nobody War with only having 3 characters, probably going to start falling behind here pretty soon, especially with once the check options start drying up.
Yeah, boycott being pretty rewarding so far. I mean, that's a character. That's a check. And a trap chest, which we can use to see if we can find an offering for that fixed dice or as a weapon.
Yeah, they did check it. I didn't see what the enemy was, but they did just warpstone out of it. So, wham. Meanwhile, Retrophile going through the Welk check. There is a Cyan back there, which he is another very good character to have with, again, a ton of extra checks. I think Locke is the only extra character that these runners have shared at this point. Javinator got the Yeti plus Locke, Retrophile got Terra plus Locke, and Falcon Hit got Realm plus Locke. Lots of variation on this seed.
Of course, everyone's going to get locked since it's behind, a free check.
Yeah, that's an easy one. These Tyrannosaurs, though, are causing a lot of trouble.
At least we got Phoenix down. Atma on the fully continent Atma weapon spot, so is it kind of French, maybe?
A little bit.
It's kind of French.
Sadly, Javinator only has Torado right now, so they have not found that Bolt 3 on Phoenix that a couple of our other runners have been enjoying. Ah, man, these Tyrannosaurs. Dinosaurs messing everybody up tonight, whether they're in a cave or whether they're employed by the fascist empire. Dinosaurs doing work.
If it were me, I would have killed those dinosaurs first.
I mean, if you can. Unfortunately, it's they're tough little scuds.
I'm just like, I would have killed those guys first.
I think I just saw Nobody War selling a hero ring. I wonder what he is selling the farm here. I wonder what they're going after.
Ragnarok.
Yep. Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Ragnarok.
Ooh, okay. Javinator swapping things around, finding out that the Illumina can be equipped on Setzer. Unfortunately, gets the proc for Pearl, which sadly for Atma will heal him. Atma absorbs all elements other than fire, ice, and lightning. So you got to use some of the basic stuff on him. Absorbs, or I think there's a couple that he just resists fully. Maybe it is absorption.
We are getting all the procs, which is horrible.
Not when you want that to happen, sadly. Falcon Hit going through the Esper Mountain, finding almost vanilla Ultros. This is unfortunately the one that will summon up Chupon near the end, and you don't get any experience for the fight. Wait.
Yeah. Feels bad, man. We are seeing a new check being right here. Belt caves.
Yeah, Nobody War going through the Velt Cave. One of Shadow's checks.
And since we have Cyan, we can Interfile can do Doma.
Yeah, Javinator getting some use out of Runic, which is not the best skill in the game, but does have some utility when you run into somebody that's got a lot of magic.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Runic, but it's
I don't like having Runic either, but it is really nice to run into a problem that can be solved by Runic, and you just sort of happen to have it. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, we got Flare Runic. That's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. So Nobody War finding another rock in this cave. Still rocking with 3 characters. Ooh, Tritalk has a lot of great spells on it.
And Inferno. That's a Oak Cave.
Does not have the Capture Realm. Oh, Inferno, there's a small handful of enemies where having steal on or capture is incredible. Inferno is one of those. Every single one of these parts, the main body and then the two little swords on either side, each have different elemental shields on them. So if you're really hurting for some elemental protection, running into Inferno with a steel user is a godsend.
It's a situational moment, though. Because you have to run into Inferno and have a steel user.
Oh, shoot. I missed what the reward was for defeating Atma up in Javinator's screen there.
I didn't see either. Sponge didn't see it either.
Nobody War getting a Madween from the cave. Not too shabby.
Help us, chat.
When you roll the tape back. Yeah, it is an Esper or an item, so you can't get a character in that spot in particular. You can in the first and third checks, but the middle one is always going to be a Esper or an item. As he runs into Ogors. These guys are freaky. Yeah, just gonna run away. That's fine.
Oh, Setter's a zombie. So is Saturn.
Wow. Yep. That is why you run away from those guys.
I mean, there are some situations where I'll fight them, but not a whole lot.
Retrophile finishing the castle and getting his Esper. Gonna go jump off a cliff real quick. Which I believe Phoenix was at the bottom of this, so they're gonna be pretty happy to find that there at the end.
We're gonna be really happy if we can get a Pearl Rock.
Ooh, Nobody War. Nobody War saw it. Let's see if they can pull it off. They're much stronger than Retrophile was at this point, but dead. Ooh, good blocks.
Sketch.
Okay.
It works.
Good enough.
What?
Okay.
It works.
We take those.
Today we learned
that is a W and a half right there. That is fantastic.
I was like, it works.
Man, go. I'd be really tempted to get a full set.
Yeah, but I was just like, it works.
Yeah, I mean, it does do when you use an instant death attack, at least in the vanilla game, against an undead enemy, it will kill them, but then revive them shortly thereafter. So I don't know if the fact that it was the only one short circuits that. I don't believe that is how that works, but who knows? Javinator gets off the island with an Alexander Esper at the end there. Nobody War's flying through the Coliseum, picking up a lot of different items. Get a Genji shield. I think they got a set of Force armor earlier. Ooh, strength +2 on that Alexander. That'll go great with that Illumina.
Yeah. Illumina user just...
Yep. You put the strength +2 on them and just they're done for the rest of the game. That's it. Don't have to touch them ever again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Eye drops.
Hey, they finally pick up lock.
Yay. And just leave him. Okay. Just really unhappy to see Runic, I guess, in that second ability slot. Just how dare you? Javinator getting some revenge on the blue dragon here. Falcon Hit picked up a Raiden at some point that also has Merton on it. Lots and lots of spells.
Bolt 3. With Bolt 3, I doubt this fight's gonna last too long.
Oh, no.
Especially if Shadow's the one casting it, yeah.
Yep, getting a kaboom.
Yeah, you do it.
So, Falcon Hit making their way through the floating continent, already picked up their Yeti, and about to run away from a presenter. Oh no, gonna try to cast Doom on it.
Doom? It can be instant. It can be hit with instant death. The reward is that amazing?
Yeah.
Dragon Claw, that's okay. Oh, that's super amazing.
Another angle for wanting to get an item, like I've done this with Tiger Fangs and the Aloe Vera chest before, is that Dragon Claw does sell pretty well. And there are a lot of really high tier items floating around in some of these shops. There's a Ragnarok. I think I saw a Force Armor somewhere. So, wanting to have that extra 10 to 15k, that's a decent reason.
At this point... Oh, that is... we like to see Gigantos in the random encounter.
Oh, that's just a that's not a... No, that's the chest in Daryl's Tomb, I believe.
Is it?
I think so. I didn't know you could get a pincer attack with one of those, but I believe that's what Nobody War is dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Retrophile going through the dream, running into these stooges.
Yeah, I know that you can.
Hey, there he is.
Spicy chicken.
Free Aura Lance with every purchase.
In the chat. Spicy chickens in the chat.
Let's get them chickens. Let's put that Tabasco on it. Nobody War coming up against the Piranhas. Javinator took care of... it was just on screen. How am I not... The weird ghost that runs... Oh my goodness. Hey, got a second Illumina for his trouble. Rexol, thank you. That is... I don't know why that happened to me just then.
The weird ghost that...
Rebuffering.
Sadly, we are seeing a whole lot of death on in the dream.
Yeah, a lot in general. Like even Falcon Hit they've got the HP to take it, but they're taking a lot of damage from Atma. Lots of tough bosses coming up at bad times for a lot of our runners here.
Yeah, Doomgaze was behind the Soft Figaro Cave.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's gotten through that yet. Somebody else, I know Nobody War dipped out of it. Somebody else also ran into Doomgaze and just decided, like, no, I'm good.
We're having a hard time. I don't think that drop was on purpose.
Doesn't look like it, no.
Ooh.
Oh.
We're having a big hard time here.
Did Retrophile not jump off the cliff? I could have sworn that there was a Phoenix Esper at the end of that, but...
Yeah, they did.
Okay. Maybe that's on somebody who is
Not alive.
down in the dirt right now, yeah.
Also, props to Setzer for surviving with 1 HP.
Yeah, he's making it happen. All right, Javinator getting his 4th Magicite. Palador from the bone carving here. Gonna have to fight a boss at the end of it. We'll see how that goes for him. Tentacles. Another boss that isn't tough exactly. It's just very particular.
And annoying. Oh.
Uh-oh.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah,
Yes!
I was hoping for that. Good job, Retrophile. Sets her hanging in at the last second, taking out Spicy Chicken. 2 characters even get to have the experience from that. Not too shabby, considering it was kind of a surprise.
And after being hit by a confused shadow.
Ooh, got Bahamut, which has Fire 3 and a Magic Power +2. Very nice find. Little late in the seed levels-wise for the Magic +2, but Fire 3 is always nice to find.
Are we actually killing these things?
Yeah, it could be. See how Bolt 3 does it.
That's poison. Oh, did not hit this time.
Nobody War making their way through Phoenix Cave with 1 full party, so we might have a dragon fight here in the middle of this one.
Yeah, just completely dropped Locke. It's like, I don't want you, Locke.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Nobody War found Terra, so yeah, Locke has Runic and Terra has lore. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it's like his 4th character, and he just went, nope. Not doing it. I refuse to.
Oh, interesting. Nobody War bothering to hit the switches to prevent his main party from taking damage on the way to the dragon fight. Yeah, Javinator, first one to... He went back to get revenge on Doomgaze. This Retrophile makes his way through the Dream. Dream, typically a pretty popular check. How do you feel about that one? I like it quite a bit, but my opinion on it varies depending on what day of the week it is.
Dream? I like it. It's a pretty good check. He gives in total of 3 rewards with only 2 bosses. And it's really not that long either. So, short, pretty efficient, and most of the time it's not as dangerous as it is now.
That's true, yeah. It's a really good check. There were a couple of Coliseum flag sets back a couple of events ago where it ended up falling down the rankings a little bit due to boss requirements and stuff, but otherwise hard to come up with hard to think of a reason that you would not want to go to Dream, unless you're pretty close to the end of the game already, or you only need like one thing. Oh, Javinator beat the Doomgaze, but I wasn't paying attention.
Neither was I.
Oh boy, Falcon Hit is poisoned. Nobody look. Aha! Dragon Horns were for sale at the Dark South Figaro there. That's a very nice find. I believe another runner picked up one of those at one point also. We were wondering where it came from.
Ultros does not have that Illumina.
No, I don't believe so. I think Javanator's the only one who's fought any dragons at this point, other than Nobody War right now.
And Javanator's fought too.
Yeah, both turned out pretty good. So dragons are a very interesting component to this. They give a lot of experience points. They each give, I believe, 50 magic points. So whenever you decide to go and fight them, it's almost like a personal preference type thing. You know, getting them early means you're getting a lot of experience and magic points early on. You know, if you have something really good for that, that's a great idea to do early. If you found some good magic that has like maybe a low learn rate, or you found a decent found some decent Esper stat bonuses and you want to try to juice up a character right away. But yeah, they're an interesting way to quickly power yourself up if you happen to have the tools to handle the job, which Nobody War does. Gets an extra pair of fixed dice.
No pun intended.
That's a lie, and you know it. Retrophile getting Rama. So was that a 3-for-3 then? I missed the Dream 2 reward, but Bahamut and Rama, I believe, were... Oh, got Bismarck too. That might have been it. I don't remember them getting Bismarck. Hey, Falcon hit, grabbing an experience egg off of that dragon. Very nice find. Popping in on Sabin immediately. So Javadator making some tough decisions at a shop here. Looking like maybe they wanted to either save up some money for the Zen Thief, or they were wanting to buy some more earrings. But
yeah. Definitely a possibility. Get the file, go into the world of Ruin. Algebra.
Okay. Yeah, this is another... I think a lot of runners tend to come here later on in the game. It's right next to the tower, and it's a good place to drop any extraneous money you might have before the end of the game. But earlier on, it's a nice place to go. All of the shops are pretty easy to get to, and they've all got one or two little goodies in them. And a guy that won't get out of the way. Oh my.
I mean, we've seen plenty of that. We saw that first off in the Return of Hideout.
Yeah, that guy's a jerk.
Which, by the way, which is your least favorite NPC?
It doesn't happen to me that often, but there is a little girl sprite in South Figaro, World of Balance, that sometimes will wander her way down behind a building, so you can't see that she's there. And you'll just run into her and have to be stuck there waiting for her to get out of the way, and you can't even see that it's happening. That one, that's the one.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
It happened to me once, and I will never forget it.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. But yeah, there's that Illumina.
Hey.
That we get off of. Ow. Yeti can even eat it.
Ooh.
Nice.
So, yeah, Falcon Hit and Retrophile TV both in the lead in terms of progression. Retrophile TV still having a little bit of trouble getting some offense going, but I have a funny feeling that's not going to be a problem for too much longer. Falcon Hit just playing solid. Hit a couple of weird checks early on, really paid off, and is just riding that wave as far as they can.
Yeah, we fought Tree Talk, right?
Oh, yes, I believe so.
I don't remember the Zen Thief as being involved.
Oh, I don't recall. Oh, yes, chat, thank you, pointing out Umaro cannot get crits on the Illumina, so not worth using it on him. That is true. The Illumina is its main... The main reason it's really good is it uses up a little bit of MP, I want to say like 15 or 20, to get a critical hit every single time. Now, this effect does not function if you are using an offering, or I believe if you're jumping. In those cases, it just does its regular damage. Although if you're jumping, you're getting that 1.5 multiplier anyway. But, so ideally, you want somebody swinging an Illumina either single hand or with the Genji glove, which works really well with the Illumina because it's got better defensive stats than most shields in the game.
There's that Magic Master in the sky.
Yeah.
It's another reset. I think everyone so far who has found Magic Master in the seed has reset out of them at the first time.
Yeah, forget that.
To be fair, would you do the same thing?
I mean, it depends on what I've got. You know, if there's been a lot of fixed dice thrown around, I might try to swing it once or twice, but yeah, not having Berserk makes that a really tough fight.
Yep.
So for those who may not know, Magi Master is one of the toughest bosses in the game, but it is weak to Berserk, and its regular attack is not great. So if you happen to have Berserk on a character, just toss that on Magi Master, and now preferably before they do their first wall change. And now you don't really have to worry about him at all, other than figuring out how to get past his really high evasion.
Which, there are a lot of things that can do that.
Oh, yeah. Like the offering.
Drill, regular fixed dice without the offering.
That's true.
Ignores evasion. So.
Anything throwable.
Yep. Any lore.
Oh, actually, I completely forgot he has very high defense as well, so you're going to need some of that defense-piercing stuff. Falcon Hit taking a crack at it now.
Any lore can be used on him.
There's a couple. I think Quasar actually does not pierce through magic defense, which is shocking. Oh, Falcon Hit has Berserk. This is over.
Oh, yeah.
Good. GG's to Falcon Hit for...
Where was Berserk at?
Oh, I don't know.
What does he have that they don't?
A bunch of Espers. I mean, honestly, they've all got a bunch of different stuff.
And I'm curious, like, what Esper has he found that none of the other ones have?
I want to say that right now, currently, there was a lot of high-fiving, crossing similar checks starting about 20 minutes ago. But I want to say each player has, I think, 2 or 3 checks that the other players just straight up have not gone to yet. Like Retrofile, for example, has done the whole dream. I don't believe Nobody War has gone into the dream yet, even though they're the only other person with Cyan.
Finishes up the Magic Master. And, well, there we go, go mode.
All right.
There's Falcon Hit's go mode.
Falcon Hit has unlocked Final Kefka. We'll see if they've got any prep or if they're just going to head straight into it.
55 minutes on the first person with go mode. That's pretty good.
That's a little bit later. Like I even in some of the potion divisions that I'm in, a few of the runners every now and then would hit go mode at 40 or 45 minutes. So something about this season has just been, I don't know if we're just better or what, but lots of people have been hitting that go mode faster than I seem to remember it from previous events. I don't know. That might be just me.
I remember me hitting go mode at about 45 minutes. one time in one of the weeklies.
I mean, that sounds great to me. Like 55 makes sense because right about, it means you're gonna do a little bit of cleanup. Maybe you're gonna, in Falcon Hit's example, gonna go fight a dragon just to get some last minute levels and magic power. But you're probably not going to spend more than 5 or so minutes before you jump into the tower. And depending on how that goes, that means you're running up against the final boss at around 1:15 or so.
Yeah, because the Kefka's tower is about 10 to 20 minutes, is it?
Yeah, depending on the bosses. But just the walk itself, I think, was timed out somewhere between 6 or 7 minutes. Javinator gonna go through here and I believe get Terra at the end of this, which is they're gonna be very happy to see their 6th character. Yep. Meanwhile, Retrophile fighting this Doomgaze. Sadly, we know that there is naught but a Thunder Shield behind him. But Retrophile solidly in 2nd place. Had a bit of a slower start, but found that steamroll. So they've been making great time for the the mid game here.
So does Gauntlet? I don't think Gauntlet stacks with Jump.
Gauntlet does. Gauntlet is it's a pretty good accessory to have go along with Jump. It's not going to get you as much damage depending on where your stats are as an Atlas Armlet, but it is a very fine accessory to have along with Jump. You still get that damage bonus.
I'm not aware of that, actually.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I started playing this either. There's so many things about this game that I have beaten a dozen times in my life that I never knew until I started playing this randomizer.
Yeah, for sure. Today I learned something new.
Falcon Hit beginning the tower climb or anti-climb, depending on how you want to look at it. The level 3 lock. Hello, everybody. I'm here too.
We're taking off a snow muffler if you like, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even if you don't like Umaro, which I'm coming around on that guy real hard lately. Umaro kind of rules. At the very least, when he shows up, you know that you found a snow muffler.
Yep.
Okay, so Nobody War also has Berserk. I was curious. I was just about to mention that. So whatever Esper taught Berserk is something that Nobody War and Falcon Hit both share. But yeah, now that he's Berserked, it's really just a matter of time. Falcon Hit coming up on the first boss of Kefka's Tower. It's Narapa. Narapa the Rappa.
I don't think Magic Master has high magic defense.
Not super high. It's mostly the high physical defense.
Yeah. So Quasar would work.
So yeah, I guess Quasar would work. Grand Train, though, work better. Triangles are the most powerful magic shape in the Super Nintendo era.
I mean, in Link to the Past, you have Triforce.
See, exactly. It's even better if you got like space in it and stuff.
Interceptor just said, "No, you ain't."
Yeah, just no.
Doing this anymore.
Yeah, no.
Interceptor just said, "No, you're done."
Just that my dog decided to end this man. Retrophile getting the Kefka unlock at just shy of 1 hour. Their levels are a bit low. They might try to go after a dragon or two or maybe do a fun party composition to clear through some of the bosses in Kefka's Tower. But we have our second runner, who is now fixing to head on into the tower.
So Falcon is not gonna be fighting the optional dragons.
No.
Sometimes you put your full party up in spot here, like the number 3 spot, just so they can get a little stronger. Here, we're not doing that. But interestingly enough, here we are doing good Narsh and Japanese. Yeah,
that's an interesting play. I'm not sure if anybody else has ran that yet. I don't think I saw it, but it's not too long of a check if you know what you're doing. Chat asking, what obstacles could Falcon Hit run into in the tower? Bosses, really nasty bosses at this point. Let's see. We know where Magimaster is. We know where Poltergeist is. We haven't seen Goddess yet. Doom can be a problem depending on your party makeup, but I think Falcon Hit at least has plenty of different ways of doing damage. So, plus, yeah, they got Illumina. That's true. So I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't think of much. They could run into Welk and end up with a 2-cycle Welk. That would eat up a little bit of time.
Yeah, I can't really think of a whole lot of things that would really kill them at this point.
Of course, we just cursed them, so.
Yeah.
At leader.
Leader, get out of here, you thing.
I love the leader.
Ooh.
Oh, hello. That was 4 digits there, buddy. What are you doing? Calm down, man.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
My. It's fine though. That's the super party. Ooh, Javinator did not find an Esper at Kefka at Narsh. That is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, Ed Chat.
Yeah, it was Force Armor. Not even a great dead check, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Force Armor is good for its reducing on elemental damage.
Yeah, that's kind of that's part of the problem with the A tier items in this game as opposed to the S tier items in this game. The A tier ones, they're extremely good in maybe 2 situations, whereas all of the S tier stuff you can use that whenever. And there have been such a high abundance of elemental shields in this particular seed that Force Armor kind of ends up falling behind.
It also makes good money.
It does, yeah. Better than the shield too, at least, because there's so many better things that you can have in the shield slot.
Can we get Spicy Chicken in the chat again?
Yep, here's Poltergeist again. So yeah, our restreamer tracker Schwantz pointing out that once you enter the dream, you got to do it. So sadly, Javinator is going to be going through this whole thing. They'll get their Bahamut, but yeah. Meanwhile, Falcon Hit running into Ultros 1. Still nothing really to cause problems.
Wait, oh, he's done an account. I was like, what? Yeah. We're doing pretty good damage to that one, but
oh yeah.
I mean, 6,000 for one attack.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, the way that the Atma weapon worked in vanilla was it works that way in this one too, but they changed the formula around a little bit. It does damage based on that. I mean, everybody does damage based on the character's level, but the Atma weapon much more so. And it has a little penalty for not being at full HP, but mostly it's very heavily focused on what level your character is at. And in the original, I want to say it was 64 was when you first really started seeing huge damage buffs, but they reworked it in this to be 32, because that's a little bit closer to the power levels that you're at near the end of the game. And Falcon Hit going through that Welk, taking care of business there, even with the Yeti.
If you've got the flag on.
Well, that's true, yes.
If you don't have the flag on,
then yeah, you might as well just not worry about it. Ooh, Pearl Element being ineffectual is kind of a bummer against Doom. That is a strong hit. Doom does not like Pearl Element, and there have been a lot of Illuminas floating around. Not sure if Nobody War found one, but I think so. I think Nobody War did try talk.
it doesn't matter. Jim's dead already.
Yep, doesn't matter. It's fine. Bye-bye.
Everything is fine.
It's true.
Everything's fine.
So that's Falcon Hit, hitting the switches.
107, 12?
I think, yeah, 107 and a couple milliseconds after it. Doing great. Very fast Kefka's Tower. Not running into really any problems. Lots of pretty wimpy bosses on the tower climb.
I just couldn't believe that leader.
Oh yeah, that's you love to see it. Especially on the, I think it was in the Guardian slot.
The leader doing 4 digits of damage.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of damage, but you know that he's going down in like 3 hits maximum, and you're gonna get a sweet, delicious save point immediately afterwards.
I know, but here's the thing: is I wasn't expecting like 4 digits when he did his special.
Oh yeah, he can. He gets brutal after too long. So Falcon Hit getting started on this final boss and casting Doom on the long arm there on the monster's right. So this is one of my favorite things to talk about in this game, is how intricate the last boss is. It's 4 different phases. This first phase is face, short arm, and long arm, I think is what they're called. Face is weak against fire. That's the target up there near the the face. And long arm is the arm that's closest to the screen there. It's the one where you can see the whole shoulder. That thing is weak against instant death and petrify, so you can break the arm if you don't have the Doom there. And then the small arm there on the monster's left just does a bunch of damage, and will throw out a couple things here and there. The real trick is counterattacks. So the face and the long arm both have an on-death counter, so you want to take care of those first, and then the short little balled-up fist in the back last, which looks like Falcon Hit is doing perfectly.
What, when you said break the arm, I was like...
yeah, that's how I remember it.
That doesn't sound good at all.
That's how I remember it. Snap that tibia.
I'm like, just doesn't sound right.
Now, Falcon Hit moving on to Tier 2. This one is substantially more complicated. It's got 4 targets. The tiger face there on the bottom right is very dangerous. He's got a zombie attack, but thankfully is weak against ice. The blue-looking guy in the underwear up front is hit. He does nothing but physical attacks, and he can be stopped. That mass of junk there in the middle, right next to the lady with the red ribbon, that is Tools. He's it. Not sure. It is weak against instant death, so that's something that primary target. If you've got instant death, I'm gonna blow that guy up. And then in the back, the fella who seems to have a tube going through his gut. I just noticed that. That is Magic, and Magic is weak against Mute because, yeah, why not? So if you have Mute, You can mute that magic, and you just don't have to worry about that guy for this whole fight. Retrophile entering the tower, putting in great work, putting in a big show for the Tonic division.
There's a Pearl Rock. Where was... Oh, apparently we found Edgar over at, Zozo.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, Nobody Wars up to 8-8. One away from getting the Kefka Tower skip, which it looks like Javinator is also one Esper away from getting that. So could you give us a quick explanation on what I mean by tower skip?
So, if you have only in this randomizer, you can skip the huge walk to the switches. If you have a specific amount of characters or Espers in this specific huge, it's either 9 characters or 12 Espers. So basically, it skips all the way up to Guardian and the statues, bypassing the Infernal Spot and the huge walk. All the stuff we don't want to see. So, a lot less time wasting.
Yeah, it ends up saving 5 minutes plus however much you would have lost on that first boss in the Inferno spot, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, you can only use it once. That is an important thing to keep in mind. So once you select statues from the menu when you're going to jump into Kefka Tower, and let's say you warp out for whatever reason, maybe you messed up your party composition or something or other, you do not get to go back. So you want to be very careful with when you use it. Yeah, Schwant's pointing out in the chat, Jav and Nobody War are both going to get skip, but from completely different places, and that is really interesting. Javinator has got their skip from fighting Magimaster. Nobody War is going to get their skip from this Mobliz fight, and both of them are going to be able to completely cut out the first chunk of this Kefka Tower climb and catch up to Retrophile TV and Falcon Hit, who is moving on to Tier 3. Tier 3 is terrifying. My personal pick for scariest boss in the game. The small bust in the back with the religious stuff hanging out by it. That is Lady. It is a healer primarily. It has 9,999 HP, and it will do that. It will heal up both parts periodically. I think it has one other move that it does, but none of that matters as much as the fact that it can heal up like that. So you want to take care of that first, because otherwise the one in front will just cast Life 2. Or, sorry, other way around. Yeah, the back target will cast Life 2 on the front target, which stinks because the front target has a death counter of Calmness, which is an instant death attack that does not care about the safety bit, memento ring, or any other instant death protections. The way that it functions is very interesting. And the other scary part about it is, as it is getting on to low health, I want to say it's 10,024, it will start countering with Meteo or Train. Meteo does unblockable, not unblockable, but defense-piercing damage. And then Train will blind and silence your whole party. Very nasty. And yeah, chat also pointing out, thank you very much, Retro and Jav are now very close to each other. Jav seems to have forgotten to pop on a Moogle Charm, happens to the best of us. But their access to the skip has brought them right within, I believe, 1 or 2 bosses from Retrophile, despite jumping into the tower substantially later.
Let's hope we don't get quad in distant phase. here on Japanese side. There we go.
Oh, there's a calmness. 2 blocks. Very nice. I don't even know if they had calmness protection.
Wow, nobody wore it's just like, nope, don't even care.
Just not going to bother.
Mog, nope, goodbye, Mog. I'm not even going to get you.
Yeah, Falcon hit. Cleaning up tier 3. Very nice. Typically, the best ways of protecting against calmness is most of the things that can protect you from a physical attack. So Golem, Fenrir, and Phantom will all work. The Vanish spell in general will also work, and my personal favorite is just putting 2 Illuminas on somebody and jacking their evasion up to the point where they can't be hit by anything. No Falcon hit going up against Final Kefka here, tier 4. Plays a little bit more like a standard Final Fantasy final boss. Has lots of breakpoints in his HP that changes his patterns around. A lot of nasty, dangerous counterattacks. So you got to be very careful about when you hit him on top of everything else.
Yep, when he is below 10,000 HP, he will counterattack with Ultima.
Oh, yeah.
How many times have we been hit with Ultima counter?
I have been hit with it a few times. It's not great. He doesn't have high magic, but it ignores defense, so it's going to do roughly 2,000 damage. Right now, however, now you see that little face show up there. Now he is in Goner Charge, which this is the time that you want to unload on him, throwing out everything like you see Falcon hit, taking off his elemental shields to use them as items. He will not counterattack while the screen is shaking like this. This is the offense time. Javinator just pulling ahead of Retrofile. Oh man, maybe I don't know if Retrofile did one of the other bosses first, but second is going to be a close fight. Oh, nobody wore.
Oh, we're seeing a Goner.
Oof. Nobody wore, unfortunately, going up to Tritalk. This is a good pick when you are 1 Esper down. You know, this is always going to be either an Esper or an item. Unfortunately, we know that it is an Illumina, so sadly, this is not going to be what Nobody War wants to find. And there's the flash. GG's to Falcon hit. Winner of the pickup game with an official time of 1:18:51. Congrats. Jumping. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, yes, congratulations. First place.
I believe was using a Valiant Knife on Sabin with his jumps, which was doing 6,000 to 7,000 damage a shot. Oh, Maneater. Well, that'll do it too. Maneater is fantastic. Hey, we've got Falcon hit here in the booth. GG's Falcon hit.
Thank you. Oh man, I almost did Narc Dragon as my starter, and if I got that EXP egg, Sabin would have been hitting quad 9s on Kefka for sure.
So did you? A bunch of our runners ran into the Coliseum. I don't think I saw you head in there either. There were also experience eggs available there. You could trade an eye drop for them.
Oh man, what was the fight?
Aliver. So it's.
So it's like, a little questionable.
Yeah.
Still, no, an eye drop.
Yeah, but like Aliver. I think I can use Quake in the Coliseum, so it's like kind of iffy if you wanna fight it.
Nobody was able to sketch his instant death special and win the fight.
Oh, sketch, right? Because Aliver has Doom.
It's one of those instant.
Oh no, that's
death.
Alisor.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Alisor that is Doom, but yeah.
So. My main question is, I guess, on like how how you make decisions when you're doing these runs, because you did a couple of wacky ones in the beginning, like you went into Phoenix Cave pretty early, and a lot of those risks ended up paying off for you. So I'm curious what your decision making is going down from early game to mid game and then mid game to end game.
Okay, so my decision making for Phoenix Cave is if my initial routing path does not have many high tier items. This one didn't have many high tier items, right? I think there's only one.
Yeah, there was a fixed dice in South Figure, and that's
the
about
fixed
it.
dice, right? And I was like, oh, the high tier items have to be somewhere, right? So I'm like, I'll just do Phoenix Cave, and I'll probably find at least one, because if you do Narsh, Returners, and South Figaro with Basement, that's like what 40-something chests. The expected, or I would expect, 2, but usually 3 high tier items out of this path. If I don't get that many, then I'm like, oh, I need to do some extra chests. So I picked Phoenix Cave to do this. That's why I did Phoenix Cave kind of early. That's why you saw me like get to like a kind of dangerous area with my characters and espers. I like got the PM Stalker fight in Collapsing House, which gave me some good experience. But like I was almost always under the monster level for the early part of the seed, which can sometimes like make it very difficult, right? I would have to lean very heavily on the fixed dice because my other characters were not very good, right? Because I didn't have like a match deck user, I didn't have slots, I didn't have anything like that, or like a thrower or anything like that. And yeah, oh man, I'm looking at the stream and people are not using Sabin.
Well, I think a lot of people have found some characters that you might not have.
Wait, Terra? What is this, Terra?
Yeah,
Terra was
so
the Daryl's Tomb.
yes.
Where was it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Daryl's Tomb. Daryl's Tomb.
Yeah, Terra was in Daryl's tomb, and it's a lore Terra also. And I believe that she came equipped with Grand Train. I don't know if somebody found that later on down the road, but they've been Nobody War and Javinator have been throwing out a lot of triangles this fight.
I see. That would have been nice to have, but I don't know. I felt like my party was really good because I found like all 3 level 3 spells, and to me that's basically all you need for a magic caster. My realm was dealing a lot of damage, so it's just like whatever. I guess I could have replaced Shadow, right? Because he was like my least productive party member. Oh, I hope it like.
So making the decisions to replace characters, I know that's something that takes a minute to get used to, understanding when you want a character gone. Speaking of gone, Ficta, unfortunately, taking a goner with a bunch of people at 1 HP. That's sad.
Setzer has to come through with the dragon dice?
Yep. Oh no.
Wait,
possibly with an Atma weapon.
That's an Atma weapon. That's not a dragon dice.
So, while we watch Ficta desperately resist the entropy here, I'm curious what your thoughts are when you're swapping a character out. Like, is it important that are abilities important to you, or is it something where it just kind of a feeling that you get, like, oh, I'm gonna want to use this guy. It's like I like this character or whatever.
The reason I swapped out Locke is mostly because of his ability. It was Runic, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't feel like I would get much use out of it. Also, I think he had the lowest magic power out of everyone. So I was like, oh, I got Realm. I'm just going to swap out Locke. Because I had already seen the Dragon Horn in World of Ruin South Figaro. So I was like, oh, Sabin has to stay in my party, right? Because I know he can equip the Maneater. And that's like all you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
And since he has natural jump, it is end game worthy because you saw me do Gauntlet Maneater. That was fantastic.
Oh yeah, you're doing 7,000 damage a shot with. We were talking a bit about the differences between like A tier items and S tier items, and that is a perfect example of an A tier item finding its niche, like finding just the right circumstance to be better than almost any of the other options.
Exactly, right? Because you know how Maneater like works, right?
Yeah, it's like 4 times I think on enemies with the human
it's
quality.
2 times, but
Okay.
because it multiplies the jump bonus, so it's like using a lance. So it's like he could use a lance.
Oh, that is an issue. I didn't know about that.
So it's just like it didn't matter that I couldn't like find. It didn't matter if he could equip like a regular lance, because this would just deal like as though it were a regular lance.
Yeah.
Plus, because it's natural jump, I could put the gauntlet, which would multiply that even more because it's a man-eater.
So yeah, Goku, do you have any other questions for the day's champion here?
No, just how are you feeling about Ultros League for the last 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, how are you feeling about Ultros League? I feel like I'm in a pretty good position. I'm not gonna try to spoil, or I don't want to spoil this week, so I feel like I'm in a good position, right? Because I'm currently in first, and yeah, I think the fourth belt is in the trophy case already.
It's got your name on it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in and talking to us, and GG's again for winning the day today.
Thank you.
As Javinator gets their crack pop 127.37. GG's. Oh shoot. Sorry, Chad had a question. I apologize. Let's see if we can't get Javinator in to ask them a thing or two. So Retrophile taking some shots at tier 2 here, and Nobody War hitting them switches and fighting their tier 1. Throwing out Shoat for the Petrify effect. Very nice.
And we are joined by Javinator. GG's.
Hey, thanks very much.
So what were your thoughts about the seed?
I don't think the seed was bad. I played it I'm not very happy with how I played it, but the seed itself wasn't too bad. I got a little too excited, a little too early, started going for stuff probably before I should have, which resulted in some resets and some slow fights, but overall not a terrible seed.
Yeah, there. I dropped from the experience egg. That was the thing. What were your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so I got it fairly late. I ended up going for skip because I was like, well, I'm behind. So I just found Cyan. I've got lots of really fast checks. We're going for skip. I just decided that in the moment. I didn't care if I went like 8-12. It was happening. But yeah, I got that experience egg, and I was like, oh my god, I wish I'd taken the Atma weapon early instead of the fixed dice, and I was gonna make Sabin a jumper, and then I got the Dragoon boots, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I felt like my offense was changing the whole seed. And then yeah, once I did get Terra, I was like, well, good thing I have all those levels. Just put that Atma weapon on lock.
So you took a couple dragons early on, and so I'm curious because I typically do those late. I'm a little bit of a big baby, and I end up not wanting to fight the dragons too early. So what are your thoughts on timing for the dragon bosses? When do you like to do them?
I think it really depends on what offense you've got. So I went into that thinking that I was going to go and do Imperial Camp. And then when I found the Super Balls, generally, if you get some lucky rolls, if your scaling is under 6, so like under level 12, it's not unreasonable to be able to kill a dragon in the Opera House with 2 Super Balls. So I kind of sold everything I had to get those 2 Super Balls. I had to reset once because I didn't quite get the damage on the first one, but the second one I was able to get it. The second dragon I went for was a little bit of a mistake, but I just kind of YOLO'd it when I was part way up there because I was like, well, I don't have a Warp Stone, and I actually used my Super Balls, so I don't really have an offense, so that was kind of a couple-minute mistake. If I'd gotten decent offense, like if I'd learned Bolt 3, say, from that first dragon fight, unfortunately it was ×1, I would have definitely considered the second the dragon as a decent play, because after that, like if you fight a dragon and can kill it with scaling under 12 with super balls like that, you basically just brought yourself up to scaling in one fast fight, no grinding required. And if you have any other offense, you're now ready for boss checks. My mistake was that I wasn't actually ready for boss checks yet because I didn't have any other offense, but other than that, Illumina, and then I didn't put the Esper on lock, so he wasn't critting, and yeah, so stuff occurred there. But yeah, I like to take dragons really early if I can find a breakable that can take them out really fast. Otherwise, yeah, probably a little more mid-game, early to mid-game. I usually like to do it if I've got some free checks and I want to jump ahead in scaling, just ahead of time to level it out after I take that free check.
All right. Yeah, that does make sense. I trying to figure out who, when to utilize all of the little ways to grind out experience. It almost feels like it's flavor, like certain people like doing it at certain times.
Yeah, for me, there's like certain things that will trigger an early dragon fight. Otherwise, I'm looking for a reasonably length check that has like fixed encounters, and then barring that, I'm gonna have to grind something, maybe in the basement of South Figaro or something. But and then if I get that thing that kills a boss really quick or a dragon really quick, that's probably what I'm gonna do to get my levels, and then carry on with the seed after that.
Yeah, definitely works.
Yeah, I can. Like I said, I took a pretty wrong turn at Albuquerque there and went up in World of Ruin. That was kind of a mistake, and then I was sort of hitting. I was getting a little bit frustrated, and I sort of frustrated with myself because I did almost no looting early game. I think I only had like 36 chests when I started doing checks, which is pretty low. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm glad that Skip kind of came together at the end, so I was still able to get the sub 130. But yeah, it was kind of a funky seed that way.
Yeah, there were a lot. There were a lot of wild swings early on from a lot of different runners that we saw, and it kind of just, some of them turned out great. Like, Falcon Hit ran into a lot of really good luck in their risks early on. So sometimes it just, the dice roll that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. Like Falcon's really good at taking what I would call calculated risks. So, he takes risks, but they're not. They're better thought out than it might seem when he takes them. And we used to talk about Zelfer luck a lot back.
Right. Yeah.
All the time too, and it was the same kind of thing. Like, yeah, there's luck there for sure, but there's a difference between like a calculated risk and like a wild play out of nowhere hoping to hit something crazy. And I find Falcon's really good at taking those calculated risks where if it doesn't work out, the consequence probably wasn't a game breaker and you can go do something else. And that's really sort of the key to getting those really fast times.
So yeah, is there anything else that you wanted to say before we let you go?
Nope, nothing else for me. Thanks for doing the restream. Good to see the channel back up and running, and I hope everybody has a great night.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for running. Can't do this without the performers.
Cheers, friends. Adios.
Cheers.
Have a good one. So as we look back to the remaining runners, thank you very much to Schwantz for repopulating the screens as our runners start crossing the finish line here. Sadly, we saw Honeydew taking 2 columnists on tier 3. Umaro and Shadow, who don't look to be too terribly beefy, coming in for the end here. But 2 is all you need sometimes, as long as you can get that damage out. Doesn't matter if you've only got 2 people doing damage.
Except if one of those people is a moron.
Well, okay, but however, we're gonna let him cook.
I'm just stating facts. All
right.
right.
I know. Yeah, he's not great to have around if end up running into some counterattacks. However, on the other hand, the counterattack, I don't think it has any kind of targeting specifics. Like I don't know if Hyperdrive, for example, will go after specifically the person who targeted, but maybe Umaro will get. Yep. See, there we go.
Well, there we go. Problem solved.
Got obliterated by a wing. Terra and Sabin just swinging some Ragnaroks around here as their offense.
That's concerning.
Is Retrophile getting Ripplered up there on the top right. Ooh, Nobody War losing. Oh, had life 3. That's another good calmness protection. You kill me all you want. I'm getting right back up.
Sabin's down now.
Ooh, yeah.
That's kind of a problem.
Yeah, that's the big damage dealer. But Nobody War making it up to tier 4, not letting the clown win.
If you Rippler, can Kefka be muted?
Yeah, I believe so. Rippler doesn't care about much of anything. Rippler will move Interceptor to other people.
That's fair.
It does whatever it wants. It skips all these other rules.
That is very fair. Oh, we're getting Ultima. Is that
bummer.
Terra dead?
We'll see. Yeah, split damage is still in effect for Ultima. R.I.P. That is a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Retrophile taking the forfeit. Do not blame them at all for that. That was a rough bit of luck there at the end.
That was bad luck.
So Honeydew opting to keep Umaro up. I'm not sure I would do the same thing. Oh, Revenger, not Rippler. That makes a lot more sense. Hey, Nobody War, having a good time. Sketch and Kefka getting an Ultima of their own.
That's the only way you can do it here.
Yep. Ultros League does not have Ultima in its flag set. As we're joined by Retrophile TV. How's it going, man?
I've had better seeds, but what's up, Tersman?
Doing all right. Now, it's really we were rooting for you there. You were you got into Kefka's Tower second, and you were making a real good run of it. Except right there at the final boss, just kept running into some rough luck. How does that end up making you feel? Like there's unfortunately a random, it's a randomizer. There is a random element to the game where you can make all the right decisions and it still just doesn't quite work out. How does that end up feeling?
I mean, you're at the mercy of you know what you signed up for while playing this, and I mean, if you play this for any amount of time, this scene right here that's on my screen where you're just annihilated at Final Kefka, it happens. It's always demoralizing no matter how many times it happens, but you kind of push through. Like we did this for fun. Like this race tonight was for fun, hands down. And there's still some more Ultros League season action to happen here, at least at some point here. So I feel okay. I feel all right about it. Like, I know what I tried to do. I definitely had the resources to get through it, but it was not meant to be. I actually made a miscalculation there. I thought I had Life 3 active on Terra still. That's why I swung. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have a chance even at the Ultimas. So I was surprised to see that Life 3 got stricken. But I think he stripped it with Revenger or something that got rid of it. I didn't even notice that, and I just remember that now.
Yeah, that was particularly unfortunate.
It happens, but hey, that's Final Kefka for you, friends. Now, the best thing to do is just stay positive. Kind of look back on it. You learn your lessons about it. I have not learned my lesson about pushing the issue, and you know what? Yeah, Ultimate's not gonna be that bad, but yeah, it definitely happened.
What's 2,000 damage? Who cares?
Yeah, it's fine. We could just eat that. Just face tank Ultimate. That's the way to go.
That's right.
It was a good time though. GG's to everyone involved.
Yeah. So nobody were deciding to sketch Ultima Kefka.
Yeah. Finished it with sketching. That was very nice. Oh, okay. I did want to ask you. You found the best deal in the galaxy long before everybody else. Eye drops for experience eggs there in the Coliseum. Took an unfortunate instant death from the aloe vera fight, but when you see something like that, does that just short circuit your entire plan and you just think like, okay, well now, I mean, I've got to make an omelet, so now I have to get into this, or do you just kind of keep it on the back burner and wait for the future when you might be more equipped to deal with something like that?
So I am very much an advocate, at least in the current flag set for Ultros League, with Coliseum being buffed, as in being able to see more rewards. I mean, I will always take the time to go look at it because it can literally make or break a seed. And seeing the experience egg, like, I have to try it. And I tried it once, and I realized I didn't really have the best things to go against all over. And it's like, you're gonna get doomed, and I didn't really have instant death protection on, so I was like, all right, fine. I'll take a swing at it. Maybe I'll get lucky with a fixed dice roll, but it was too early on for that to happen. So I'm like, all right, well, I didn't get it, and eye drops for experience eggs would have been pretty amazing to get that, but wasn't really set up for it. But it's still nice to check. But I only tried it once. I didn't like, oh, I have to get this. This is gonna make my entire seed. It would have definitely helped because I had a hard time keeping my people alive. Like, Locke kept taking a dirt nap, and like everyone else was level 21, he was level 6. So it's nonetheless.
Yeah, but that rip really must have really hurt.
But nonetheless, it was an interesting seed. I had a hard time finding protection throughout the entire seed. Like, elemental protection kind of came in somewhat late. Finding that Illumina at the Opera Dragon was kind of nice. I really enjoyed that. But it was a challenge this time. I was definitely not feeling too comfortable. That's why I took the 2 extra dragon fights before I went to Kefka at that point. But hey, turns out it wasn't even necessary anyway. Take the forfeit and go.
Yeah. Churchman, any final thoughts?
No, I think I'm good. Thanks for putting on a show for everybody. We're always happy. I'm really glad that we got this channel up and running. We got so many different entrants for this too, including Nobody War, who we got in the booth now.
Welcome.
Yeah, GG's. That was a dicey one. It seemed like you had it, and then just
I couldn't sell them quick enough, to be honest with you. That was a mistake. It really was.
Yeah, we saw the sketch Ultima, and we were proud.
Yes, congratulations on getting the moral victory.
Oh, every time if it's a starting character in sketch, I'm like, you're staying until the end,
You're here, man.
no matter what.
So, both you and Javinator were going after Skip at around the same time, and amusingly enough,
I
completely
did that
different
dance.
directions.
I did that little dance. I was gonna go do what's it called first. I didn't have stones, and I'm like, nah. Just auction house didn't play out. I should have checked it first before I dumped the inventory. But yeah. I felt it there at the end. I'm like, somebody was in the. I like at 45-50. I'm like, wow, somebody swings this right. They're in there without a skip and can finish. And I'm assuming that's what happened. So
Um, so, so, it's funny because, you know, even if you didn't like win in first place, you won, you know.
oh, that's what I set out to do every time. So
Yeah, you definitely did.
There wasn't a train to suplex, but you drew a picture of
yeah,
Kafka,
that's
which is pretty
unfortunate.
good.
No blitz either, for that
So-
matter. What
so-
did Mog have? I left him there. Anybody get him?
Oh, I don't think so. I think he might have been the only one that actually saw him.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here's what I thought. You found Locke and just said,
Nah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, he was terrible. No, you can just stay
You-
there. I'll run
you-
with 3 at that point.
You had 3 people, and you
Yeah.
got finally got your 4th, and you're like, I'm not taking him.
Well, it was nice because it was terror quick after that too.
We're sitting here going, is he gonna get? No, he's not. He's just gonna leave Locke.
So I am curious what why you left him behind. I mean, obviously, you know, it was a lock with Runic, which
Well,
Yeah.
the plan was to like instantly go do Phoenix Cave, and he was just gonna be the other party to begin with, and then we were gonna form up at the
Ah.
end. But I did the dance there again too, and I was like, oh, I should go grab the check at the house, and it was weapon. So we did more dice, selling dice, buying swords, and then yeah, went through with Phoenix Cave early.
So you didn't even bring Locke on the airship.
Well, at the end, nah. Yeah, nah.
You didn't even bring him to the final fight.
Someone's got to fly that thing.
it's true. And yeah, you had 9 characters, so that does kind of make some sense.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's like I was just like, wow.
It is always funny when it happens.
It would have been Gal, but Gal had GP Rain, so he was kind of going to be useful. Word.
Yeah, they just once it started flowing, they just didn't stop.
Nice. My last 2 season races in Potion kind of was like a real heavy like character start. I started like 7-1 or something like 2 weeks ago, and I'm just like, ugh. So it was nice balance. Like I was like 3 for a long time, got to 4th, and Espers had built up to like 4 or 5 by that point. I had 5 and 5, 5 and 6. Then when all those other characters started rolling in, I knew it was a hunt.
No one else found Edgar.
Anybody do dry or the belt check or Gal's
No,
checks?
I
Don't think so.
Curious.
Yeah, lots of variation in this one. Everybody ended up hitting a lot of the same stuff by minute 30 or 40 or so, but really wide.
I tilted pretty early
difference.
too in the camp with that dinosaur fight.
That was brutal. There were Tyrannosaurs just all over the place.
Somebody should have hit him harder. That's what I'm saying.
We're not gonna say who. Not naming names.
Yeah.
not naming names, but anyway, so yeah, dinosaur there, and then there was a double in the Marshall fight.
Yeah, I got my revenge.
Yeah, we definitely saw you did get your revenge. Was it very eager?
No, I definitely enjoyed it though.
So yeah, anything else that you want to say before we let you go here?
Oh no, thank you guys though. It's good to be back. Have some restreams going. Get some community races going again. Good to see
Yeah.
everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys again.
Thanks for putting on a show.
No, you got it.
So I think we might have one more runner waiting to chat. Yes, OS. GG's.
Hello.
So,
So-
what did you think about the seed?
Not my favorite, but there was a lot in the seed. Like you had options like the entire time. Like I've played good seeds and I've played bad seeds. This is one of those weird seeds where you had the ability to do stuff the entire time. Like there were no roadblocks or anything. It was just choices you could make. I think I made all the wrong ones, at least early game. But overall, like this is a very interesting seed because you can you had a lot of potentially good choices at the beginning. Like I found Super Balls for sale, and I was like, oh man, I can buy like 2 of these and go kill the Opera House Dragon. That's like standard practice for me. Because then like you catch up to scaling, you get 2 high tier items. You can sell one for money and buy like the Zen Esper if it's bad, like a Magus Rod you can't equip. But I knew I didn't have enough money to buy 2 Super Balls, but I had a Mega Elixir, so I could sell it and buy 1. I was like, I'll just take this and carry it with me, and I'll use it on a boss that's going to give me trouble. And it stayed in my inventory the whole game, so I just sold a Mega Elixir for no reason.
Oof.
And I ran into Magi Master early, and I panic reset. I was like, I've got like 300 health, and he's way overscaled. We're going to come back later. He'll give a bunch of experience and Mega Elixir right before Kefka's Tower. And I came back later and used Fire 3 and wiped half my team. So then I left. And this is after spending like 3.5 minutes getting Genji shields from the Coliseum because like 30 minutes in, I wasn't wearing shields. Those are the only shields I could find. And they did nothing on Magi Master. But other than that, it went fairly smooth. I see other people found characters all over the place, but I did not do Daryl's Tomb, and Phoenix Cave was my last check. So I'm like I'm excited when I see the Yeti. I did every other check except for Vargas and Daryl's Tomb when I got Realm, and then I had Kefka unlocked.
Yeah, Daryl's Tomb was Terra. This was it was deceptive, right? Like, you know, the Opera House Dragon was the Dirt Dragon, and the reward was an Illumina. Like there was another Illumina attached to the Tritok fight. Like there was a lot of damage out there for your characters to do, but there was also a lot of damage incoming. And I don't think, like you mentioned, there wasn't a ton of really good defense. There were a few elemental shields floating around, but
yeah, my offense for pretty much the entire game was Fixed Dice and Bolt 3. And like that's nothing to sneeze at. Like it was fine. Like I had the choice between Atma Weapon and Fixed Dice, and I chose Fixed Dice because I knew Setzer could equip it. And I was like, he's got Sketch, so that's not going to be great. But I took a like random fight in Narsh to gain like 2 or 3 levels to get a little bit of extra HP, so I could survive a Gale Cut from a retainer or whatever, the Katana Soul. Because I looked at all of the checks I had. I was like, all right, let's see. Imperial Camp, Zen, that's 3 monster boxes. Daryl Tomb, it's 4. Phantom Train, it's 5. Floating Continent, that's 6. Narsh, that's 7. All right, we've got pretty much all of them except for Ancient Castle, just like right at our fingertips. Later we found Umaru, that's another one. And there was no offering. And so my entire plan at the beginning was I have Fixed Dice, let's prioritize looking for offering, get it, and then we could take out anybody. And I never found it. So it was just really slow Fixed Dice.
Yeah. I don't think anyone else found offering either.
No, there were a couple people searching the monster in a box, but there were just PM Stalker after PM Stalker.
Yeah.
It was a gamble, and it wasn't a particularly good gamble, like statistically. Like, you can literally do the math and say, that's a bad idea. But I had the option to search all these checks, and it was like, I'm going to be doing Zen House first to get the loot, and I have Sketch, so I can take out Katana Soul early. And then Imperial Camp's obviously going to be next. And I was like, I'm probably going to do like Cave in the Veldt after that, along with Floating Continent, just like back to back to get all the easy potential character checks like out of the way. And I was like, that's a lot of monster in the boxes. But yeah, it just didn't work out.
Yep. That's what happens sometimes, you know. You draw the short straw here, but
Yeah, it's one of those. It's just one of those routing things. Like there's there's no really real way to know that Phoenix Cave is required or not. Like,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
not supposed to do Phoenix Cave. So if you do Phoenix Cave early, that's a bad idea. But you can be rewarded for it handsomely if it gives you an out. And similarly, like Daryl's Tomb, like that's not a bad check, but it's like right in the middle of the road, kind of far from everything. And I could have done it immediately after the Coliseum, but you can kind of like half peek it. I was like, I'm gonna save that for when I need like one character or an Esper, and then I can go in and half peek it. Of course, when I got to that situation, I'm like, we've got Daryl's Tomb of Argus or Phoenix Cave, and Locke's the next in the character chain because Umaro was extinguished, so I guess we'll do Phoenix Cave. And I thought everywhere else was going to be a dead end, so I was very surprised when I pulled up the stream and I see all these different characters. I was like, how did I find Cyan? Where was he?
Oh,
Cyan was
actually-
behind Welk. Cyan
Okay,
was-
I actually didn't remember because I think there's Celeste is the only one that wasn't accounted for. Strago also, I believe. Oh, Go, right.
Yeah, this is one of those weird seeds where you can make the correct choice in multiple different ways, and all of them be wrong.
Yep.
Yep.
Like if you didn't do Opera House first, you made a mistake, and if you didn't do like Daryl's Tomb or Phoenix Cave early, you probably made a mistake. Like Realm could equip the Illumina. That's huge.
Oh,
Yeah, like I just auto-equipped her with Optimum. I was like, huh, that would have been handy. Instead, we have Shadow with cards. But it was fine. Yeah. Overall, I did okay. Lots of random mistakes. I probably shouldn't have panic reset on Magi Master. I probably should have waited and just thrown the Super Ball and see if I got really lucky. I did spend a lot of time in menus. Like, I spent like 15 minutes total in menus. So it's like 4 minutes in shops and 11 minutes in actual menus, which is way too much. It should be like 8 minutes in menus, like at most. But there was a lot of shuffling Espers around because I have a very bad habit of saying, oh man, we've only got Bolt 3 and I can learn Flare. I can learn quick. I should shuffle these Espers around because it'll be great. But you really shouldn't do that. It's just like 1, maybe 2 is fine. Especially when you've got Fixed Dice and Illumina and Ragnarok. You don't need to.
well, all right. Thanks. Thank you for putting on a show for everybody tonight. Any last thoughts before we let you go?
Everyone should use the Stat Companion made by
Ooh,
Para.
yes, that thing is very neat.
If you haven't downloaded it, you should download it because like Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide is a randomizer, so it's got a lot of dumb stuff in it. Like you're gonna run into Doomgaze and get level 5 doomed. You're gonna get Magi Mastered, but you don't have anything to kill him. But in every run, there's something you can do to go faster, and it's why there's Mega Elixirs players. It's why there's Elixir players. If I get into a race with Falcon Hit and I surpass his time, it's not because I did well. It's because something horrible happened to him. I know he's gonna be faster
Yep.
every time. And he's got better execution. He's got like better menuing and stuff like that. And it's really hard to kind of see that just watching a video. You're like, he's doing the same thing I'm doing. But if you open up Stats Companion, and especially if you ask someone to say like, hey, can you show me what your Stats Companion looks like for this run, especially if you're racing somebody, then you can actually see, well, this is how long they spent on menus compared to you. And if you've got like a 128 and they got a 127, but you spent 15 minutes in menus and they spent 12, you can say, oh, well, that's kind of where that time was. I was actually faster overall, but I spent 3 minutes longer in menus. If I can shave that even by half, so it's really eye-opening. So download Stats Companion.
So yeah, and in order to find that and a bunch of other fun information, I should have been plugging this more often, but we're shaking a little bit of the cobwebs out for this stream. Check out our Discord. We've got a ton of people on there. There's new people showing up every single day. There's lots and lots of very knowledgeable players and a couple of the devs working on this in there, and we are all more than happy to talk about Final Fantasy VI with anybody that comes in and has any questions. So please check that out. There's lots of cool information there. There's lots of really neat little programs that like Stats Companion, like OS has been talking about. That's a lovely little widget that you can attach to give yourself a bunch of information on where some of your faults might be. So please come and check out our Discord.
And there are events like the Worlds Collide Battlegrounds, which registration is happening right now. Join
Yes.
the Empire. Join the Empire. You're like, returners all the way.
Hey, look, I know how the story ends, so I ain't falling off that continent.
We can rewrite it.
Anyway, thank you very much, OS, for
You're
chatting
welcome.
with us for a bit here, and GG's.
Yep, good race. Community races are fun.
GG's.
And GG's to the rest of the runners. I want to give a big shout out. We had a huge pool for this race, 9 people total. Please go check them out on Twitch. Go follow them around. There's a lot of us playing Ultros League, Worlds Collide on Twitch a lot of the time. Check out the category on Twitch to find us doing it, or head on over to the Discord, where we got a little widget that lets you know who's playing at any given moment. So big thank you to all of the runners today for putting on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Ultros League and all that. Here we will answer all of your questions and whatnot. So
yeah, I guess it's time to wrap this up. If you want to roll your own seeds and you don't want to hang over to the Discord, you can go to ff6worldscollide.com, where they have a lovely little website set up where you can take a look at the flags, make a bunch of seeds for yourself, and really start to figure out how the game works. There's a lot of great descriptions on what all the different flags do. So please check out that website. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Schwantz27 for tracking and restreaming tonight. Thank you so much for getting this back up and running. I want to thank my co-commentator Goku Black for chatting with me tonight.
And thank you to you as well for being here with me, so I wasn't chatting alone.
All right, so I did not introduce myself. I'm Turdsman. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you again, Goku Black and the Schwantz, for keeping this running with me. Y'all have a good night.
You too.